What's going on, guys? My name's Andy and welcome to this free series called Learn 10 Songs in 10 Days, and this is intended for kids and for teenagers and for anyone that basically struggles with playing guitar because they feel like they have small hands. Now, although this is intended for kids and children, this is an inclusive course, so I want families to be watching this and adults learning together with kids and anyone that feels like they've not been able to make progress yet. What I've challenged myself to do here is come up with a series that is going to do a few key things. What we are going to be doing is working on more modern songs than most other beginner series would normally do. We're not covering songs from 60 and 50 years ago in this one, although I've covered plenty of those in other courses. This one is going to include modern chart music and well-known songs that any kids and families will definitely know. Another thing that we're going to be trying out is it's just a fact that most kids have smaller hands and a lot of beginner chords. For example, the C major chord and other common beginner chords can just be too challenging and can put kids off from wanting to play guitar at all. That is something that I definitely want to change here, and one of the principles we'll be going for is strumming some chords using just the thinner 3 strings, which means you can play many chords with just one finger. And many of the lessons that we have here don't use chords at all, so we're not going to be strumming and getting big lines across our fingers. We're going to be changing all that and covering something different, including, I think it's lesson 8, where we actually start the first half of the lesson is where we're just tapping out rhythms and having some fun doing that. So you can even play some of the lessons in this series without a guitar. Now, I do want to answer some questions that you guys will inevitably have about this course. But also let me know your questions that you have now in the comments below. I want this to be a very two-way thing, and I want us to encourage the next generation of youngsters to want to play guitar and to get playing guitar together. I think it's a wonderful thing to want to do, and that's something that I'm committed to making a reality. With that in mind, I just want to show you this picture of me when I was about 3 years old, I guess. I'm holding a guitar, but that's my brother's guitar, and I am lucky enough to come from a musical family. But even with that being the case, I did not start playing guitar when I was that young. I had some school lessons when I was about 9, and my brother showed me a couple of things around that time as well, but none of it clicked. I did not excel at all. In fact, I really struggled and got completely lost and didn't actually get my own guitar and ask for it for my birthday, I believe it was, until I was 13. So the difference between me holding a guitar in this photo and then actually getting a guitar and committing to learning was 10 years. It took me, coming from a musical family and with the encouragement of friends and family, it still took me 10 years to really commit to this thing. And you can definitely see how if people don't come from a musical family and they don't have those opportunities, it can be something that just passes them by. And I don't want that to be the case. I want to highly encourage anyone to pick up a guitar from as young an age as possible, and we're going to be covering all the things that will make that a reality in this series. So with that in mind, one of the questions I'm surely going to get with this is what age would be ideal, or what's the earliest age that kids could start learning perhaps a full-size guitar, or at least a guitar with 6 strings. Well, first of all, I feel it's a really bad thing to put a definitive age bracket on any of this kind of thing, because kids are so different, bigger, smaller, into music, not into music, even at the same age. And it does matter that the person is ready to learn and into it and is encouraged to do so as much as anything else. With that in mind, though, I would suggest that perhaps 6 years old is around the earliest age that you could be hoping for a child to strum a full-size guitar, or perhaps a 3/4 or treble-size guitar like this one just here. From the age of 5 and below, I would suggest that it's probably better to start on ukulele. Ukuleles are small, they can be super cheap, and they're just an easier, fun instrument that can be just a much simpler thing for a kid to get started on. And I do have a ukulele course already up on YouTube and on my website, and that would be something that I would offer to people that are perhaps from 5 and under, Perhaps for some people 6, 7 and 8, that is what they would prefer. But certainly from the ages of 8 to 12 is that ideal age when many kids could start, but it's just a struggle. And this would be that peak time that this course is for. And from perhaps 13 and above, again, I'm making this course inclusive. Anybody can learn from these lessons. All I'm doing here is offering a pathway forward for those people that feel like this connects with them. And there are, of course, loads more free lessons on my YouTube that are appropriate for beginners, and on my website and on the Andy Guitar app too. Another common question is, of course, which guitar should you buy or which guitar should you learn on? Now, this is just something that straight away most kids don't have the luxury of. Many kids are lucky enough to have a guitar due to someone else in their family playing, due to someone leaving it at their house at some point, maybe their friends play or something. But what I want to say first of all is whatever guitar you have, if you have one, is the best guitar that you can learn on today. And getting started today is something that I want to highly encourage. If it has 6 strings and you can get it in tune, that will do for now. From there, if you want to ask for a guitar for your birthday or for Christmas, or if this is something that you want to buy for yourself, you've got to find a guitar that makes you want to play it, that you just look at it and think, wow, yes, that is something that I want to hold, that is something that I want to strum, and it makes you and encourages you to want to be able to play it. That is the most important thing. Way more important than the wood or the shape or anything. It's just whether you're into it. Do keep in mind though that a slightly smaller body shape, and especially a slimmer body shape, so smaller this way, will be much easier for anyone that is smaller to learn with. And even when I was 13, was a guitar that had a much slimmer body, though by 13 it's fine to have a full size one. But these travel size guitars are super popular now, these Ed Sheeran style ones, I guess. When you have a guitar, you're going to have to get it in tune, and you're going to have to tune your guitar before every time you play. It's super, super important, especially when you're still getting used to this. Otherwise, what you play may not sound how it's intended to sound. So the tuner notes that we have on our guitar, from the thickest string to the thinnest, are E, A, D, G, B, E. A good couple of phrases to remember that, and be sure to let me know your favourites in the comments below, but my favourites are Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie, and also elephants and donkeys grow big ears, because they do, don't they? Elephants and donkeys grow big ears, a bit like me. So they're a couple of ways that you can remember those tuner notes, and you can use an app. Most apps are free to download that you would want to tune with, or you could use a clip-on tuner which you would clip onto the headstock of your guitar, and that will enable you to tune it. Because we would need to do that every time you play your guitar, I'm going to do that in a separate video so that you can come straight back to it for reference. And that is everything, guys. So again, I encourage you to let me know your questions about this kind of thing. What questions do you have about learning guitar? I'm more than happy to make another FAQ video and answer more questions about playing guitar with small hands and that kind of thing. But other than that, I just encourage you to give this a go, or find what works for you, or do whatever you can to learn guitar and music as soon as possible. Go easy on yourselves. No one finds it easy. But I promise you we're going to offer some solutions with this series that I hope many of you find really fun, really encouraging, and encourages you to stick with it. And picking up your guitar as close to every day as possible is all we're encouraging with this course. I hope it's super fun, and I hope to see you in those lesson videos.